talk about this controversy with Quavo and Chris Brown, which I don't know if you saw anything about that, about them having to sit next to each other
Yeah,
at
they
a
sat next to
fashion
each other.
show.
Yeah, the fashion show.
I wasn't even aware these two gentlemen had problems with each other. I
Yeah,
guess
that's what I'm
it stems
saying.
from issues with Carucci or something like that. But I didn't know. I didn't know they had issues with each other at all. Um, so what do you think? So they were forced, allegedly forced to sit next to each other at this fashion show.
I wonder who did that. Who put that
Right. Like I
together?
was
They gotta be
thinking,
petty
was
as
this
hell.
done purposely? Like, did they know? Like, were they just being petty, or was it just straight up like they thought maybe like, oh,
Gotta be
these two should
petty.
be cool? Because on paper, I would assume that Chris Brown and Quavo was cool. Like they seem like I know the Migos have a song with him at
Hmm.
some point or something, but so yeah, it was definitely um interesting to see. And then obviously Quavo did not respond to it, but Chris Brown did.
Yeah,
And fans were just kind of saying like, "Yo, how you ain't supposed to be how you sitting next to Quavo at the joint." You know what I'm saying? Like, and he was basically saying like, "Look, you can't pick at these fashion shows. You can't pick who you sit next to, and he's not gonna mess up my bag because they be paying celebrity like rappers and stuff like Quavo and Chris Brown and Kanye to be
okay.
at those things, yeah, because obviously they generate some sort of attention to it. So he's like, you ain't gonna mess up my bag." Uh, and I get that, but let me ask you: so, if how you feel the same way? Like, do you think Chris Brown should have stood on his integrity and been like, "Nah, I'm not sitting next to this man because I got problems with him," or do you understand that? Like, okay, yeah, I probably would have just sucked it up and sat next to him too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he could have easily just spoke to some kind of event organizer and be like, "Hey, like we got some real life issues. We can't
Right,
really sit next to each other's." Now, I
right.
mean, if that's not a possibility in that situation, then I guess he got to deal with it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was just weird the way they responds. I think you said like fans were calling it out when they were sitting next to each other. That's why he had to speak on it, something like that.
Yeah, because everybody like they were blowing him up like, "Yo, I thought y'all supposed to have beef. Y'all supposed to have beef. Why was you?" Or basically they were asking him, "Oh, like one person saying like, "Oh yeah, look at this, Chris Brown and Quavo were able to be mature, squash their beef," and he was like, "No, no, 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 no." Chris Brown was like, "No, I ain't squash no beef. I was forced to sit next to him." That was the situation. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I
Did,
feel like I
did
would
Chris
have
did
like you
Chris
said.
did Chris Brown get jumped by Migos? I seen something like that like a while ago.
Something like that. But I knew specifically the issue with him and Quavo has something to do with Karuchi Chan or however you say her name. That I think because Chris Brown was dating her first, obviously, and then
Yeah,
um Quavo was dating her up until that incredible elevator incident that that happened, and I guess they broke up shortly after that.
got you.
But but yeah, I was thinking too, like you can't have that big of a problem with the man because y'all was sitting awfully close. They were
That's
basically
not.
knees touching. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. Them
them
boys, lap to lap,
boys was
boy,
close.
elbow
Yeah,
and lap
like
and everything. Yeah, no, that's not no. That's not. I mean, see these people nowadays they need to go listen to this Biggie song about what's beef
was beef.
because
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of people got beef confused, man. That
Well, I would say
Chris
our
Brown and Quavo
definition
stuff. Yeah,
beef
go
has
ahead.
evolved to something different than what it used to be back in when we was, back when the beef DVDs, beef one, beef two, and all those was coming
Hmm.
out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's more now about petty internet and stuff like that, and like women and
Yeah.
what you said on Twitter. And
My
but would you
response
say
if I was
so?
Chris Brown, I'd be like, bro, this is real life.
Yeah.
I mean, we had our little rift or whatever, but this ain't no like real deal beef for real, for real. You know what I mean?
Nah, yeah. I mean, you never know how deep it got because there
That's
could have been
true. That's true.
a private conversation where they went back and forth about Carucci, or Carucci could have been telling Quavo stuff about Chris Brown that went down. Which, that this is another thing that we can have one day. We're gonna have a whole podcast episode just about like relationship stuff and stuff like that because I know we
Yeah.
always say that, but we don't do it. But I think I always expect if you're gonna date someone or date people within the same circle or the same group of kind of people,
Yeah.
you better best believe that best believe that that the person you dated, your ex, is gonna be telling their new person about you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
strong believer in that. Like people
That's
say
true.
no, people don't do that. I'm like, no, everybody does that. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
particularly if the new person that you're dating knows knows who your ex is and knows who they are and or even knows them personally, trust and believe they're gonna tell them everything about you and that everything that went on in that relationship and everything you did. So
That's
I don't know.
facts.
So I see how men will start having beef, or women will even start having beef over dating the same person, or if you date the same sex, that's what you do, maybe
Yeah,
however
with,
it
with this
goes.
situation, I don't think the beef would. I don't think the beef is like at that level. That's why he could sit next to him. You know what I'm saying? If you really got
Oh
beef with
yeah,
somebody, if you really like, if it's up there, you ain't sitting next to them. I don't care about no. If you talking about a bag or losing a bag, no
yeah,
sir.
yeah, for sure. Like beef, obviously, beef is more so what's going on between Young Dolph's people and Yo Gotti's
Thank
people.
you.
Like bodies are actually.
They ain't sitting next to each other. I don't care about no. If they talking about a bag, oh, I decided to sit here for my back. No,
Yeah,
that ain't
yeah,
happening.
and yeah, and bodies are dropping in that situation. Niggas is actually
Exactly.
dying. So yeah, definitely something that's been going on. So and what do you think like? And another thing that I realized with beef now, or beef within the
Hmm.
music industry now, it's not so much on wax no more. Like they not really
Yeah, yeah,
making songs about each other no more. It's either they're straight up taking like the Yo Gotti and them route and killing each other,
yeah.
or they're like just having petty talking about it on Twitter or
On the
whatever.
internet,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
yeah, which to
yeah.
me,
Because
like
I
you
mean,
said,
yeah, because I mean nowadays it's like you said, it's either going to be some real deal beef or some just internet like Blueface and what's his name, Soldier Boy beef. How they were
mm-hmm,
beefing, whatever you know. Because I guarantee you, they see each other for real, for real. They gonna shake hands, they gonna laugh, and probably drink a cocktail. Like that's not happening with Yo Gotti and Young Dolph's crew. That's some real deal beef. So I feel like it's usually either or. You understand?
mm-hmm,
So and people know nowadays how it can get out of hand when you really start getting on wax and making beef records
yeah,
and,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah. Which
they
is how
they
I
know
think the
it.
Yo
Yeah,
Gotti. It's how I think the Yo Gotti and Dolph thing escalated because Dolph was
yeah,
actually taunting these dudes on almost every track and mixtape
exactly.
that he was making, unfortunately, and then obviously that evolved into them just be like, "Oh, we ain't talking no more," and
And
so.
then supposedly from what I heard,
Mhm.
um, the beef was really started over like Yo Gotti not really like signing Dolph or something with the Dolph not
Yeah,
signing
no,
Yo
he
Gotti.
yeah, because originally he was Young Dolph. Yo Gotti wanted to sign Young Dolph, like they were
Yeah,
talking and stuff, and Dolph was like, nah, like he wasn't,
yeah. So
he
something
wasn't feeling it.
simple as that
Yeah,
probably ended up the reason of his
mhm.
demise, which is insane to me, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and like we said, and like, I think we talked about it last week when we said I don't think this is stopping no time soon. I
Yeah.
saw somebody say that I don't remember who said it, but someone said like it's probably not gonna stop until Yo Gotti's dead. You know what I'm saying? Which
Oh
is
shit.
like goddamn, But
Yeah, that'll be OD.